Awesome. All right, next photo. Here we go. What's going on
here? This is Battle Championship Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Extreme.
Excuse me, I'll just get you another beer while you're talking.
Yeah,
keep going.
So Extreme Championship Wrestling was the basic theme behind this show.
Yeah.
So, obviously you've got some big names there. Sabu and Tajiri and Shane Douglas and Melina and Katie Forbes and RVD. And Tamatsu and names lost me altogether for a second, but I'll come back to it. Dominic Danucci.
There you go, yeah.
Former tag team champion with Bruno Sammartino from the WWF days.
Yeah.
Absolute legend. Obviously taught Mick Foley's and Shane Douglas's, and absolute nice guy. As you can see, he's hanging onto my shoulders there. He was such a lovely guy.
What a photo.
Yeah, so I was pretty stoked with this show. Unfortunately, a couple of times when I've done shows like Battle Championship Wrestling and the AWF, at the time I wasn't involved in Riot City Wrestling, but they ran pretty big shows on the same nights. So crowds were probably not quite what they should have been for those couple of shows.
Yeah.
Very good for RCW and well done to them.
Yep.
To be able to take a market away from a show that has people like this in it.
Yeah, for
sure. But great. As I was saying, a similar example of people that you... In Adelaide here, Sabu, when he came in, I thought he would kill you if you spoke to him.
Yeah, okay, yep.
He came, he was walking with his hand in his shirt, moaning and groaning, and I thought, man, I don't want to go near Sabu. He looks like he'd literally kill you.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what's going on here? So I then later found out that he buggered his shoulder or elbow, one of them two.
Yeah.
I keep thinking shoulder. And lot of pain. And of course, in Australia, didn't have the right insurances and things for going to the hospital.
Yeah.
So he's in a lot of pain. He shouldn't have even wrestled that night, but he still went through tables and did everything.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So you've got to give the guy credit for that. They even tried to stop him. Like, don't do it. Like the owner of BCW's. Don't do it, man. like the owner's really good. The money's not the object with him. He's just a big wrestling fan. Loves all these old guys. Able to bring him over and let people be able to see him. That's all he does.
Yeah.
So he's saying to Sabu, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah, no, I've got to do it. So pretty crazy to do that. But the following week I flew to Melbourne to do the same show.
Yeah.
In for the Melbourne crowd. And what a difference. Like, he got some painkillers and had some work done on it during the week.
Yeah.
Nicest guy under the sun. Had a big speech before the show talking about the old days of ECW, handing out hot dog and beer vouchers out front of the arena, telling us, put all the hard work into the business to get the rewards back.
Yeah.
And like you said, back then that's what they had to do. These guys were standing out front of the ECW arena handing out vouchers, trying to get people in the door.
Yeah.
So to have him and Shane Douglas do those sort of talks before the shows were phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really good. There was a mate's 40th birthday that night.
Yeah.
I'd obviously committed to this, and as much as I love my mates and I love having that little group that I have.
Yeah.
I love my wrestling.
Of course.
I love my wrestling, and I have a bit of an addiction with that. So to be able to do this show, and I'm like, man, I've got to do this show.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
his favourite wrestler is RVD.
Ah, what?
So I'm like, once again, it's that because I'm watching him before the show. He's pacing around and he's doing his stretches, you know, the legs out each way and doing RVD stuff. And he does that for hours before a show.
Right.
Hours. Like, the guy is so flexible and
Yeah.
unbelievable. He just spends hours stretching. Like, unbelievable.
Jeez.
I couldn't, you know, just how much.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen every guy stretch for, you know, half an hour or something before going out there.
Yeah.
This guy's hours.
Jeez.
Wandering around the arena and just different spots and stretching and
Yeah.
unbelievable. So I seen him doing that, and he'd sort of finished up, and I'm sort of, hey mate, how you going? Ring announcer, just wondering, like, I'm meant to be at mate's 40th tonight, and you're his favourite wrestler. Would you mind doing a little video for him?
Yeah.
And I'm waiting because he hasn't said nothing till then. Yeah, sure, man. Come and catch up with me after. We'll do that.
Yeah,
It's cool, man. Yeah. Straight after, like, we'd done the meet and greet at the end of the show. He comes over, does this fantastic little promo, wishing my mate happy birthday and all that. And I flicked that to him, and
Oh, nice.
so that was really cool. But yeah, what a great experience. I've done a few BCWs. I'm sort of their number 2 ring announcer.
Yeah.
Obviously, he hasn't toured here too often since.
Yeah.
He did another one with the Lucha mob.
Okay.
So yeah, that was good. Phenomenal during the intermission, backstage. Chavo Guerrero was just having a talk about his life and history, and it's like, wow, what an experience! Him talking about, you know, rings in the backyard and you know, Eddie and just all the stuff. It was just like, wow, who gets this experience? You know, unbelievable.
That's amazing, dude. That's so good, man. Oops, I don't know what happened just now. There we go.
Looks like Battle Championship Wrestling in Adelaide again, so probably pretty much that show, or it could have been the Lucha one. So they were good fun. They're good company, good shows.
Yeah,
hope to do some more at some stage.
Absolutely. And what an opportunity to meet those people and get around that. And here we are, Caradinga. Here we go.
PWSA Championship. Looks like Acey boy.
Ace and
my
Acid.
man. Ace against
okay.
Acid Hayes. That's a few years ago, because Acid wearing that gear.
Yeah.
So that's already... We've probably been Caradinga 5 years or so now already.
Oh, wow. Shit.
So we're getting up towards that sort of mark.
Yeah.
Caradinga Sports Centre, obviously a original home for RCW. Many moons ago it was.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, cool.
That's pretty well where they started before moving to the Estonian North Adelaide. And so there you go, I know my history.
That's good, man. That's what we want. That's what the fans want. They want to hear the history.
Because I had all that history. I sat on the other side of the fence for all that history.
Yeah. Don't worry, one day there'll be a documentary made about this, and you'll be able to sit down and tell all the stories about SA wrestling.
SA wrestling from day one.
I know that Down Under bloke wants to make a doco about it, so it'll be a good listen, I reckon.
Yeah, well, you'll have to track me down.
And here we go, Riot City. Here we go.
Here we go.
Sean.
Riot City Wrestling. Pretty happy to be there.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't think I'd ever get the opportunity to work with Sean.
Yeah.
And wow, I was glad I got to.
Yeah, definitely.
Very sad for me to see him move on to other things, do his stuff, and still stay in contact all the time. I at least try to flick him a message every week
Yeah, nice.
And check how he's going, or hassle him over something, or or whatever the case may be. Obviously, I listen to him and Tyler. I don't get much time to do podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's one I always listen to in the car is Sean and Tyler.
Yeah, nice.
So that enjoyed it. We just clicked, like just no dramas. Like there was no. Sometimes commentary can be a thing where it works or it doesn't work, and some good people are good at it, some people aren't. And me and Sean just clicked. We no dramas. I remember seeing on Twitter one day someone was watching one of the RCW shows and they commented on us and said how much it sounded like we were having fun watching the show and they were enjoying listening to us watch the show.
Yeah, of course.
So that was pretty cool.
That's good.
Seeing that pop up.
Yeah, that's definitely
good. We always had good time together. Great, and still get the odd little chance at PWSA when he just pops up for a show to help out.
You're never retired in wrestling. He pops up all the time, so it's good to see him.
Yeah.
There we are.
And RCW,
some business there.
At the that's still Hindmarsh.
Looks like Hindmarsh is a painting on the wall. Yep.
So that's the early when I first got. God, I've even put on weight since then. Early days of RCW. I think you'd have to check with Angus because he's the stats man.
Yeah, he knows.
I think Sean and myself did like the most consecutive shows as commentators in RCW history or something like that.
Oh wow!
All the combinations, or there's always been a change or something. And I probably would have nearly getting up to most shows or not missing a show. I haven't missed an RCW show since I started.
Oh, nice.
The only probably bummer, and it's not a bummer, I enjoy doing it, is I reckon 3 shows so far where we haven't had an Andy or a Haz and I've had to step in as ring announcing. First time I think we were really short, so I ring announced and commentated.
Oh wow.
And then the other 2 times I just ring announced to save me running up and down and back and forth
absolutely.
And things like that. So it sort of probably knocked my numbers out of most consecutive commentary shows or something like that. But hey,
you've still been at the show.
I've still been there. Like I said, it was probably is it October 2020, 2021? What? Yeah, see, I'm bad with times already.
Yeah, maybe.
One of them.
Still at Hindmarsh, so somewhere around.
I reckon it could have even been October 2020.
Could have been.
I reckon I rolled up around a Halloween show. At Hindmarsh there, so it was pandemic sort of days.
Yes. Feels like so long ago.
Sure does, but having fun was a ball. I mean, I got the message. Hey, we're short because I've made contact a few times over the years. Trying to get my foot in the door.
Absolutely, yeah.
And all of a sudden I get a message. You interested in doing a show this weekend? Well, yeah, of course I am. So it must have been Andy was going to be off, so they wanted Haz to do ring announcing.
Yeah.
Can you step in? So we went and did the show.
Yep.
And sat down, did the first half of the show with Sean, and by intermission, I heard, right, new team going forward is Paul and Sean.
There you go.
Like I said, we just clicked.
It
was it seemed, I don't know whether everyone else thought that on the other end with us too or not. It's obviously, it's hard from sitting in our spot because we're us.
Yeah.
So you've got to rely on what other people tell you.
Of course.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, everyone enjoyed our work.
I'm pretty sure they have. You're still there, so that's the main thing. We were talking about before. Final battle.
My child. What can I say?
What a story! What an encounter this was.
So final battle number 2. So obviously we had a final battle, which was the Survivor Series match.
Yeah.
My team versus Brady's team went through, got down to us. Then I got the low blow. Brady with the belt to my head. 1, 2, 3. He became PWSA general manager. So from Roberts to Roberts. He did very well. He was still on the borderline of a bit young, and he doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
He did grow into it a lot.
Yeah.
But the start was very... kid's a kid. You always want everything. You want the world. You want it to happen now. There's no taking time. There's no building up to it. You want it now. You want it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was coming out. While Johnny was a heel, bad guy. Started coming out with Johnny, and he's like, "Oh, I'm coming out with Johnny. Johnny can Johnny promos. I don't get to do that." You're learning.
Yeah, exactly. What a person to learn off of.
Exactly. Like, just calm down. You need to learn. You're still young. Might be the size of the Twin Towers, but you need to calm down and learn. Learn the business. And it's hard for you. You still got to remember, people are looking at the product. So, a 16, 17-year-old kid, his only advantage was being the size that he was. Sort of can help pass it a bit. But still way too young to be general manager of PWSA, and trying to explain to him the privileges and the advantages he got in the business. Obviously, but like I said, towards the end he was doing very well as a heel, and people wanted to kill him, so throw things at him and kill him. So that's doing your job when you're a heel.
Exactly right.
He did that for 12 months. Management kept me on as a ring announcer. Well, that was the funny part. Did that happen? Yeah, so I was going to take a break. So sort of at the end of when I lost, I sort of was going to make a speech. I dropped the mic, said, "No, I'm done." And left. And I was going to take a bit of a break. And see where it went. Well, Facebook went mental. Like, my messages, the page messages, everyone messages, like, So I sat it out for the show. I can't remember. It was the first show back after. And I reckon Johnny was fighting for the championship.
Yeah.
It must have been off of Twisted or something at that stage, because that's where the whole feud was sort of hanging around, Twisted and Brady and stuff like that. Because obviously, final in the early days when Brady was learning, he was with Johnny. Johnny broke away, became a face again, good guy, my side again. Was in my Survivor Series team. In the final battle, first round. He sort of... That's right, we came back. Johnny beat Twisted. It all went down. There was something dodgy. You'd have to watch it again. I right near the end, there was something. Someone was going to do something. I came out, clocked Twisted and whoever else. Might have been Benji the Clown. So, he took out Benji, got Twisted. Johnny got him, rolled him up, 1-2. I reckon we had Ref Michael as ring announcer for that night.
Okay.
Because I was not there.
Yeah.
So then they'd taken out Alex. So then from ringside, he's ripped off his shirt, come in, 1, 2, 3, bang, in we go. Johnny's won the championship.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff. So then that's when Brady put it, if he wants me to have my job back, he had to surrender the belt.
Okay, yeah.
So, obviously, Johnny doing the Johnny thing, the me and Johnny thing, he surrendered the championship back to Twisted J, but I was then employed as ring announcer at PWSA. So that's... and then we obviously... Final Battle 2 was just the tag team match.
Yep.
Myself and Acid, after a bit of a story build up to it, myself and Acid and Token Brady and Twisted J. Everything happened in the match, of course. They were about ready to take me out, and we did a classic, and I think it was Alex came up with the idea. We'd already sort of knew about getting Ace involved because Ace was in my Survivor Series team, but basically had stopped from there. Had a break, so no one had seen Ace, and then Twisted's about ready to I'm on my knees. Twisted's about ready to take me out, and I got the mic and I Twisted, you've always got to have an ace up your sleeve. And out comes Ace. Death Valley drivers to Twisted J and stuff, and then took on the boy and beat back and won the general managership back once again.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, check that out on the YouTube, guys.
Yeah, that one should be definitely up there.
That one should be on there.
Hey, Delta. Got the Delta shirt. Buy one, people. Buy a Delta shirt. Get in while it's...
Exactly, before they sell out. Before she's too hot to get them.
Yeah, that's right. One day I can say, when she's WWE Women's Champion or something, I'll say, look, I got my Delta shirt on.
Absolutely, guys. Hit her up. Get them in there.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sick shirt, though.
A good shirt and, good wrestler, good talent, and good person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's good. There's the jacket. There it is.
There's the jacket, the present from T-Bear. Yes. So, like I said, it was the voice of Powerslam.
Yeah.
Just to have another voice floating around because I couldn't be the voice of SO Wrestling. Then we were going to do the real voice of SO Wrestling, and I think we did do it for a little while.
Yeah.
While it might have been still a little bit of interaction with Haz at PWSA, and then just kept going on, and then the guys like T-Bear and a few others well, why don't you just do the real voice of Australian wrestling? You've done AAW Perth and did a couple of shows and on their DVDs, and the PCW AWF rung announce for that. And every company in Adelaide, at some stage of the game, pretty much. There's still a couple I haven't done stuff with, but others have come and gone, and I've helped them out where I can, with your Power Slams and your Australian Wrestling Revolution and all those sort of things. So always obviously a big finger in the pie here in South Australia.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the real voice of Australian wrestling, which doesn't mean a thing, but
no. Like you said, the reactions you get and the popularity you have, mate, it's a great thing to have.
Look at that team.
Look at them. There you go. There's the lads. Look at that.
So those are some pretty good people, voices, wrestling characters. Obviously Tyler, both in the ring, out the ring, phenomenal. Great on the mic. As a commentator, like I said, we had a great stint, which would be on Power Slams, which, like I said, we've got to get all that stuff back up, unfortunately,
that'd be so good.
After our little hack episode. But This was only just recently at PWSA the other week.
Johnny's retirement match?
It would have been, yes.
Yeah,
just the other week. So it was good to have them on the mics. Originally, we sort of had talked about Has just ring announcing and myself with someone on commentary.
Yeah.
And then Has, like I said, I've got a very, very close group, which is Has, Ace, Bellows, and Brad Bradford, who's not in ring competitor, but has always looked after security and stuff at old Snake Pit days and over at Rampage these days. So we message every day, talk all the time, get catched up whenever there's a pay-per-view, all that sort of stuff. So Has is like, hey, Johnny's last show, do it with me. Yeah, we'll take it in turns and we'll hang out ringside and have a laugh and yeah, that's a good idea. So then we obviously went in the chase, and who better to call Johnny's last match, and Tyler, obviously huge connection. With Johnny, like we talked about people that had walked through the Snake Pit door or PWSA door into the RCW door. Tyler is one of those. His match with Ace before he did the jump to Riot City, magic. So like I said, was great sitting on the mic with him for a certain amount of time at PWSA. Great, always loved watching him in the ring. It's a pity he's getting on and it's getting a bit tougher, because I still love watching him in the ring. He's got one of those wrestling minds. Some people have them. Even mine's not to the standard of some of those guys. Just understanding the business and all that. You know, you got your Michael Weavers and your Tyler Daniels, and there's just guys that have that wrestling mind.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. So love Tyler. So Has, like I said, all the time, and Sean, like I said, try to message him every week. And do the odd catch up for a birthday and bits and pieces whenever we can is always good. And just like, so you just take off where you left off from.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter what's happened, where you've been, what you've done. These good guys.
Nah, that's awesome, man. That's what you want, man. You want that group of friends around you. It's good.
Hey,
a bit of a throwback.
Oi. So Australian Wrestling All Stars.
Okay,
which is later Powerslam, basically.
Yeah, of course.
So ring announcing and commentary team.
Yeah. Another good squad right there as well.
Yeah. So we did. Obviously Wolfie, huge name in South Australia. Love the guy. Still message him now. He's over in Tassie land.
Oh, nice.
Down in Tassie. Is the Wolf Dog, so I still get to say good day to him occasionally. Has, and always brings emotions when you see these photos.
Yeah, of course.
And unbelievable that you get to work with all these great people. And we did a voice of SA for the Wrestle Radio Australia.
Okay,
we did the Voices of SA Wrestling or something like that. So if you get a chance, there's one to look up. All four of us sat down before. I reckon it was this show.
Okay, nice. Yeah,
it could have been this show. We all sat down and did the podcast for this show. If you get a chance to look up Wrestle Radio Australia, Voices of SA Wrestling, check that one out, because it's definitely another good listen. Very history, because you're not only getting myself, you're getting Wolf Dog and Luke Hazard, guys that have been around longer than I have. which is always a bit of fun because these guys have been around longer than I have, but with, like we talked about, history of the Snake Pit being in sheds for 5 years, doing so many shows, and if we go down the path of how many shows you've done, I sort of surpass a lot of them. So it was definitely good shows, good fun, some great talent on those. Rhea was involved in one of them.
There you go.
Took on Mick Moretti. In one of those shows. So some great wrestling, great stuff, great people, good fun. So
nice. Awesome. Well, make sure you check out that, guys. Wrestle Radio Australia.
Yeah. There we go.
There he is.
So like I said, Christopher Daniels got a few shots there backstage. So that was pretty cool. The Fallen Angel. So it was great meeting him. And like I said, you would have thought, God, this guy's going to kill me. But no, very, very nice guy. Great talent.
Nice. I think the timeline's a bit thrown out now. There's some random ones coming up.
But so that's the crew getting ready for the Rampage.
Is that a young Brady Roberts out there?
It is a young Brady Roberts there. He did the entrance music for that show.
Oh, shit.
So that was the Cabana crew that videoed the AWF show here in Adelaide, and I believe we did post commentary possibly on that DVD. Would have been either with T-Bear or Adam Gerard, not sure, can't remember. Done too many.
That's all right.
I'm getting old, so remembering names and timelines and things aren't always the best.
Your memory's been pretty sharp tonight, don't you know about that? There's a Ryback.
There
he is.
Interesting guy. Like I said, when you looked at from the distance when he rolled in, eating with his 10 buckets of KFC under his arms, you thought sort of approachable sort of guy. Then I went to him in the locker room before. No, see me later after the match. Because, it's good to meet you. Wouldn't mind if we get a photo. Didn't want to know about it before his match.
Jesus.
Didn't have a lot of nice things to say about AWF and the Adelaide crowd. There wasn't much of a crowd, unfortunately. I talked about RCW having a nice big show that night. So that sort of killed things. It was probably a good turning point that night for Jonah Rock. He had the match with Christopher Daniels, and Christopher Daniels plugged the hell out of him on social media.
Right.
I'm sure people had their eyes already on him, but when you get recommendations like I seen from Christopher Daniels after that night,
of course.
Obviously that makes other people say, hey, let's have a look. Which is obviously Bronson Reed. I keep saying Jonah Rock.
That's all right.
Bronson Reed.
I think fans know who we're talking about.
So, couple of things, like I said, very weird. Like you're getting paid whether what you're doing. I guess Ryback had a different upbringing in this business. He did the whole Tough Enough and that, or was it, or something along those lines?
Yeah, I think he was. He was. Yep.
So he's gone from looking at the outside of the business to hardly doing anything to being on the big stage.
Yeah, of course.
So for him to come to a gymnasium with 30, 50 people, to him is, it was
like a slap in the face.
Pretty much. But to me, obviously, have a look at yourself too. If Ryback's in Adelaide and there's no one here, what can I say?
I get you.
But for all his whinging beforehand and all that, he put on one hell of a match.
Okay.
He went out there and gave it everything with Suicide.
Yep.
Very enjoyable match. So I give him 110% credit for that.
Yep.
And when I obviously seen him in the hallway after his match, because I think it must have been just before Inter.
Yeah.
He was happy to line up for well, you can see how happy he was, but I got a photo with him.
Yeah.
So he didn't argue about that one. So what can I say? It's still good to meet them.
Yeah.
And you hear all the things about what he says and carries on the social media and stuff like that. So
I think what's good is like you've got this. Instead of just a fan meet and greet, quick photo, see you later, you've got these stories to go with it of you've actually been in there, interacted with them in the locker room, that sort of stuff. So to be in the position you have, man, that's quite a spot to be able to talk to these guys in the locker room, get to know them.
Yeah, like your Shane Douglases and stuff like that. That was pretty cool doing all that sort of stuff. Like that, Dominic Danucci, he came out for the Shane Douglas match in Melbourne. And I was sitting at a little table ringside with the bell. Next thing, he's pulled up a chair. And he just starts chatting away. And, these guys and their ideas of wrestling, why are they doing this? I don't know. And I'm having this chat with Dominic Danucci during a show. Like, wow. Like, that sort of stuff was, pretty cool. Standing around after a show in Melbourne and in a circle and, I got Sid Parker and Erica Reed and Mad Dog and RVD and Sabu and we're all standing in a circle talking for hours. Like, if you want to asking RVD, how you enjoying the trip, Sydney and... Yeah, man, we went to the zoo and do you know Wombat shit square thing so they don't roll down the hill? And I'm thinking, I was sort of nearly looking at the sky like, okay, I'm here in Melbourne calling a show and I'm talking to RVD about Wombat shit. Let's sum it up.
Nice.
So, good stuff. Well, there we are. Suicide.
There he is.
I always liked the character.
What a character.
Obviously been played by a million different people. I can't even remember who the guy doing it at that time. He wasn't a very well known from under the mask, like like your Kazarians and your Christopher Daniels and stuff like that. Still a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Like I said, him and Ryback put on one hell of a show, and I was pretty stoked to get a picture with Suicide.
Yeah.
I always liked the character. It was always cool seeing it develop on TV and all that. It was pretty crazy when they were trying to change the name and because they didn't want Suicide. And
I remember the TNA game came out and you play as Suicide and stuff like that.
Well, that's where the character was developed.
From the game. It was insane. And then to see it on TV all of a sudden, you're like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
I'm standing there with it. It's like pretty cool.
Oh, it's so good.
Look at that!
Powerslam photo.
Look at that. The Luch and Wolf Dog doing Powerslam. Channel 44, plugged on the side. There used to be something before that. It was like a Channel 30 or something on the old band, and then we went to digital, it became 44. So there we go. That's how old I am. Digital 44. And it's still there. Not power. Well, actually, funny, it's not there. I was in bed one night. The wife likes the Friday night or Saturday night horrors on Channel 44.
Okay, yeah.
And it must have been some time, before. And next thing, my voice is on the TV. They're playing an old episode or
bullshit,
something like that. So, they obviously had time and a filler. So out came an old episode of whatever. So
that's so good.
Yeah, so you're sort of half asleep. Next thing, hang on, I can hear myself.
Yeah.
So, we don't obviously produce it anymore. There was a lot to that. I mean, I'd done it for a long time. It took a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Still to make sure it was out every week and tried to produce it to the best product I could.
Yeah.
I got to an end where I was getting tired with it. We sort of gave it to someone else and got the ball got a little bit dropped.
Yeah.
But at the same time, 44 didn't play ball too much. They used to, like, we used to have to pay to have the show on 44.
Oh, really? Shit.
And that was my thoughts as well.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to jack the price up.
Oh, shit.
And I sort of sent them emails. And I said, like, well, look at the other commercial stations.
Yeah.
So they kept saying, well, you sell the time and you can, you know, well, I didn't have time to mess with that sort of stuff. And maybe if we had the right person, that could have been the way to go, sell some advertising time.
Yeah.
Because I believe we used to do relatively okay on the channel. We used to not have too much drama, getting a good time slot and all that sort of stuff. So I believe we used to do quite well for the station. But then that's where I said to him, well, you go sell it.
Yeah.
You know, do like the other commercial stations. They sell their time slots to companies.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not worried about what ad you throw in for 30 seconds here and 30 seconds there. You go get the money, keep us on the air. But
yeah.
didn't want to have a bar of that. And then, you know, I'm talked to management and sort of said, well, what do? We keep forking out money and it doesn't bring the people in the door.
Yeah.
Like everyone, like I said earlier, you'd have people say, oh, the one on the TV.
Yeah.
So people would watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that didn't bring the bums in seats.
No.
And it didn't bring enough bums in seats to warrant paying that money.
Yeah, of course.
So that's what sort of brought the demise of Powerslam on Channel 44. And there were, at the time, then it started getting in the murmurs of the government were actually going to cut their funding, the channel was going to shut down, it was just going to purely be a YouTube or online TV station. And like I said to management, well, if they're going to go that way, we can do that ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no point staying on a TV station that's just doing an online station.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
We can do that as well. So there's no point. No point.
Yeah, you might as well have your own channel like you did. And,
that's right.
Run that.
So yeah.
No, excellent. There's AC boy.
My boy. Ace. So yeah, love Ace. Always loved his work as a fan, sitting on the other side of the barrier, watching him. Just always good to catch up with Ace, go walking with Ace, watch pay-per-views with Ace.
Yeah.
So one of the nice guys, one of the good guys. Like I said, it's always been a thing with at PWSA. Like I've brought Ace back at times, and he's had longest reigning championship runs. Brought him back not long ago and all that sort of stuff. So always good fun. Love hanging out with Ace. So yeah,
nice, love it.
Hey,
there you go, a bit of a new
version. The new version, RCW. So obviously Andy, the informer Andy Anderson, and now my man that remembers everything for me. and I sort of nickname him the historian, the RCW historian.
Yeah, definitely.
Angus, he's come a long way. He's doing well. We're gelling very well, I think. I don't sit there, because I usually try and watch the shows back. Yeah. And I don't sit there hating it.
Yeah.
So to me, that's
a win.
That's a win. I'm hoping everyone else is not just going with I'm hating it. They enjoy it.
Yeah.
I hope they enjoy what we try to bring to the commentary and histories and backgrounds and all that sort of stuff. So Angus, I love having Angus because you want a stat. Angus is your man. He's got the stat. He'll tell me, and he'll just say, you know, one day, like I said, with the me and Sean thing, you and Sean have been the longest consecutive commentary team or something for so many shows. Wow, man! Like I struggle to remember what I did yesterday sometimes, and you're telling me that we got the longest, how many shows, and now we've got Big Brody Marshall, joining us. When they started, sort of the murmurs, obviously we knew that he did the big comeback at the Fringe with Grimm, which was great that he got to do that, because that, like he has said, that's one of his moments.
Yeah, of course.
That moment at the Fringe, and was great being with Sean, calling that one, and being at that show. Like the emotions for that show are very big.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously the injury's just too much for Brody.
Yep.
Which is a bummer, because he loved being in that ring.
Oh, definitely.
And it must be hard sitting on the outside. And there was the murmurs of him floating around and coming back, and I thought, what's he going to do? And of course, we haven't had a general manager at RCW for a little bit.
Yeah, true.
I thought, maybe he's going to come back and you know, it could be martial law. See, I was always thinking you want ideas.
I like that.
Martial law. I thought, maybe that's what they're going to do. And the next thing, he's going to be joining you on commentary. Okay. So, and he's coming along great. Once again, he's done well to fit in with the two of us. Like I said, it's one of those things. We still clash a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're still only relatively, you know, within 6 months, and there's been a couple of shows Brody's, you know, missed.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's only still a handful of shows as such together.
Yeah, of course.
But no, he does great. He's getting more relaxed, and you can hear it in the later shows, a lot more out of him.
Yeah.
Than the earlier shows. He had a little bit of problem with names, dropping the right names, and he struggles with that still to today.
Yeah.
But no, and look, it's very easy, especially as you get on like us. It's you know, it's very easy for a slip of the tongue or whatever. But no, like I said, love having him on board as well. And like I said, I don't think we're doing terrible things.
No.
And look, we even in the early days might have been first show or two. You know, like, you know, they're saying this could be the, you know, commentary team that,
nice.
In the country. So to hear things like that floating around on other podcasts and shows and stuff like that, that's always nice. So obviously the eyes are upon us.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So it's always good when you can get feedback like that. And like I said, that's what we rely on. That's what I rely on. Is you know, I rely on someone saying, no, you shit, or you know, whatever. So hopefully everyone's happy with what we're doing, and we keep doing it, keep improving it, and see where we go from there.
No, absolutely, man. Doing a great job. There he is.
There he is again.
There's the man himself.
Introducing him. He's like I said, doing very well, coming a long way, and I think it's nice for him because he gets to still be there.
Yeah, of course.
It's hard, obviously, he'd be sitting there thinking, geez, I'd love to be doing that.
Yeah.
But when you can't, hey, he's there. He still gets to hang out with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. He's still around it, which is good.
Watching the shows, watching the guys doing their thing.
Yeah.
And giving feedback to them and stuff like that. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, he's a big part of it. There.
So it's good having him there, having him on board. So we look for what happens as we move forward.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think we've got a last photo here. Just a bit of a throwback there. What is this? Snake Pit Championship Gorton match.
Oh, it was obviously... it's hard to tell. Like I said, I forget timelines and things like that. Obviously, I was the president, obviously by the shirt and my presidential version of the Snake Pit logo. Johnny was obviously being his king, Johnny Radic, or
Empire shirt on.
Empire, yeah, the Emperor Johnny Radic. So being a heel, being a dick, and then so like I said, the fans of at PWSA Snake Pit have always loved a me and Johnny thing. We've never done versus each other in the ring, but we've done this sort of stuff. Where, where it's Johnny trying to rule the roost, but then I'm the boss, and so I'm ruling the roost. So then I do things like put him in a gauntlet match, mate. You want to think you're the man?
Yeah.
We'll hear him say, "Who's the man?" You want to prove you're the man, but I'm going to prove I'm in charge. You're going to defend your title in a gauntlet match. You can take on everyone from the locker room. All that sort of stuff. So that's that's why stuff like that poster's about, because it's obviously me pointing at nearly the RVD point at the back of the shirt, proving, hey, I'm the president of Snake Pit. You're just the champion. I can flex my power and muscles better than you can. So. Yeah, that's what happened there.
Nice. All right, awesome. What a picture to end it on, man. That's all the ones we got for there. So great look at obviously where you started from up until now. Awesome stories there. I appreciate you going through all them. And like I said, one day someone's going to make an SA wrestling doco, and we'll be able to sit down and break this into like a 10-part series and listen to all these stories.
All the stories.
From yourself and all these guys like Hazard and all that. But I appreciate you going through them. Really love the stories and appreciate your time on that. All right, Paul. I'd love for you now to plug any social media you have, any shows or anything you have coming up. Feel free to plug them now. All the links will be in the description below. But go ahead.
Well, I hate social media as such. I'm on it a lot, but I hate it. But I have the Voice of Australian Wrestling, Paul Roberts fan page there. The Voice of Oz Wrestling, I think, is the Twitter, which you won't see much on, and a bit on the Instagram. Voice of Oz Wrestling or something like that. So yeah, hopefully the links are there because I can't remember them.
Yeah, no, I'll chuck them all in there, guys. Give him a follow.
Yeah, so so social media, show wise, depends when this all goes to air. We're about a week away from Winter Festival at Glenelg. So Sunday 9th of July we will be at Glenelg in the it's not the Peacock tent, different tent this time. For RCW, Right City Wrestling show. It'll be on the YouTube if you do happen to miss it, or interstate, overseas, wherever you may be. Check it. And the Vault, get on the RCW website, the Vault. Don't go back to the old ones because you might see me on the other side of the fence, and that not good. But you check out that on the Vault. PWSA Koldovani tribute show happening the end of July, I think about the 29th of July.
Something like that, 28, 29.
Jump on PWSA Adelaide social media, check that out there. Obviously jump on the Right City Wrestling. We're doing some other, we've got Beer and Barbecue Festival, so if you're there, go and check out RCW.
So, huge July for wrestling here in SA.
I'm trying to be there for that one because that was a great show last year, bit of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
I really enjoyed the Beer and Barbecue last year, so if you happen to be there, check out some RCW while you're there. And then we've got a couple of shows happening in August. There's one at the brewery happening.
Big Shed Brewery.
Big Shed Brewery happening on a Friday night, early August, about the 4th of August, I reckon. And then we'll have our main show somewhere around the 15th or so, I reckon. Don't hold me to that again, but check out RCW.
Keep an eye on the social
media. So, definitely check it out. Get to local wrestling, support the guys. They put their body on the line. They do a great job. I love watching it. I love being part of it. Support us so we can do what we do and entertain you.
Yeah. No, 100%, guys. Perfect way there. All the links will be in the description. Hit all those links. But like Paul said, get out, support the guys and girls. You'll see some awesome wrestling, some awesome commentators, ring announcers doing their thing. So get out there and do and support them. Just before we wrap this up, I know you got a big drive ahead of you, but last question: of all your years doing the commentary, do you prefer having live commentary at the show so people can hear it, like the crowd, or do you prefer the voiceover later so when people watch the show? What do you like better in your personal opinion?
It comes down to the show a lot. I mean, PWSA, it was enjoyable to the crowd.
Yeah.
It probably helped a lot with my character and myself, because I could make comments, do things to the crowd.
Yeah,
so that's probably helped over the years, but not necessarily the best thing for the business or the product. Like I say, PWSA sits in that so there's different levels.
Yeah.
And, for the level that they sit at, it was sort of not a bad thing. Crowds are obviously at times a bit smaller or a bit less reactive.
Yeah.
So that noise interaction or the prompt to help people do the right things, or scream, yell, do whatever at the right times was probably helped with the live commentary.
Yeah.
But then an RCW show I don't think needs live commentary.
Yeah.
The crowds are right into it. They're loud. They're big. So they probably don't need that prompting and things like that. So
Yeah.
Each to its own. I guess when you go watch WWE live, it's weird not hearing it. Like you've always have.
Yeah.
I struggled with that with the 2002 show in Melbourne at the Telstra Dome or whatever it was called at the time. Global warming.
Okay. Yeah.
That was bizarre. Yeah, not having that.
Yeah, I went to the Super Showdown.
I did that one too.
Yeah, and that was I think it was I was only my second WWE event, but just without any commentary was a bit weird.
Yeah, I've been lucky over the years. I've been to a lot of them. Gone to Melbourne, seen them here in Adelaide a few times. Did the global warming, did a couple of the smaller like Rod Laver Arena shows in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Did the Super Showdown. So I've been to a few. Handful here in Adelaide as well. So yeah, it was bizarre at first. Probably the biggest bizarre one was Super Showdown.
Yeah.
When it was live, because you've always watched it on TV, and they're coming out doing their entrance. Next thing, the whole joint goes black.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on here? And that's when you realise they're playing a promo to the live crowd on the video package.
Yeah.
Next thing, they've, in the dark, walked the rest of the way in the ring, stand in the ring, and then just before the promo finishes, everything comes back up, music hits, and it looks like they're still doing their entrance for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All they've been doing is standing in the dark in the ring. So that was bizarre seeing that for the first time. Like I said, but then I went to old superstars of wrestling shows here at the Entertainment Centre, and had Jerry the King Lawler live on commentary.
Oh, nice.
And Jerry the King Lawler uncensored live on commentary is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Absolutely. I wish I had that show on video, because Jerry Lawler, just priceless live on a mic without
shit.
censorship is
Far out.
unbelievable. So what can I say? I don't think there's a right or a wrong.
Okay.
It comes down to the product and what the product can bring. Maybe, we dropped PWSA live commentary because it was just me.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we struggled to get someone to sit with me. So me commentating a show to people for 2-3 hours is, I don't know whether, I think they still enjoyed it, but it's pretty brutal to have to listen to me for constantly for that long trying to call a show. So that's why we sort of dropped it there. Like I said, there's no right and wrong. Like I said, I've had a great experience of live commentary as a fan, and I've obviously experienced it without it, and you can still have a great time and enjoy it without. Yeah. So each to their own.
Easy. All right, I think that's a good place to wrap it up, Paul. Really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, we've been in the works for a while now, but amazing to have you on. Amazing to hear the stories. I appreciate that. I look forward to what you're doing with these companies in the future, and see what goes on. But until then, mate, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Don't drop me on my head again.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's that red. Oh, sorry, that's that red shore guy.
Easy. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Beers and Brawls. Another huge thank you to my guest, Paul Roberts. Amazing stories, and what a guy. Been around for a long time, done a lot of things, as you heard. Making websites, commentating, ring announcing, the works. But appreciate him coming on. As usual, guys, give us a like, subscribe, follow, all that sort of stuff. Until next time, cheers.